OK, we'll leave that there. That was the Victorian Opposition Leader, Daniel Andrews. I'm joined now from Melbourne by the Federal Secretary of the Australian Licensed Aircraft Engineers Association, Steve Purvinas. Steve Purvinas, a tough day for your members. Do you acknowledge, though, that Qantas is in an incredibly tough position and has to make some hard decisions?
Yeah, Qantas certainly are in a tough position, but it's not our members who put it there, it's the bloke in charge of the airline. I actually found it quite surreal listening to him sit there talk, and this is what he said in answer to the increased competition from overseas competitors. Other international carriers continue with a loss-making strategy. Well, it was only just today that Air New Zealand announced a record half-yearly profit. So he can talk about loss-making strategies, but it's actually Qantas are the ones that have got the strategy wrong.
OK, so putting aside for the moment your strong feelings about the performance of Alan Joyce, 5,000 jobs to go, 1,500 in management and non-operational roles.
Yep.
The fact that so many are going in management and non-operational roles, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, Qantas certainly are a little bit top-heavy when it comes to management, but just on further information, because I know a lot of our members will be watching this, we have heard that 175 LAMEs, licensed aircraft engineers across the country, are also going to go with this. We believe that to be split 53 in Melbourne, about 65 in Sydney, and the others from the other bases.
What kind of impact will that have?
We're hoping that we can meet with management next week and try and make some arrangements to minimise the impact of those job losses. Maybe it might be different rostering or leave burn programs. So we're hoping it can be as easy as possible on our members.
Yep. So just getting back to my first question, do you acknowledge that hard decisions have to be made?
Yeah, look, Qantas certainly is struggling at the moment, but we've heard about 46% increase in capacity into the country, and Qantas have only increased their capacity by 2%. But the thing is, passenger numbers have increased by 46%. The whole strategy is askew. All the other carriers have increased to match the demand in the market, but Qantas haven't. So the economic position that Qantas find themselves in today is only their own doing.
Yep. So is there any need for jobs to go as far as you're concerned, or should Qantas be expanding and trying to increase capacity?
Well, we talk about capacity growth. All the other carriers have increased capacity growth and jobs by 46%. Qantas are going the other way. You don't make money by contracting your business. And what we've seen today from Mr Joyce is pretty much the same strategy that's been in place for years. Retire some of the older aircraft that we're always going to retire anyway. Continue with those Jetstar Asian franchises that have never turned 1 cent of profit. So the real problem that we have is that the course they are heading in is exactly the same as it was yesterday, and that's not working.
So is there a need for any of these 5,000 jobs to go?
Look, I can't comment yet until we've met with the airline about where and when the jobs may be leaving. I mean, if they're retiring 767 aircraft, they may be able to retire 767 pilots. However, they are also increasing A330 aircraft, so they may be able to swap and fly on a different plane. So you really need to know further details on the 5,000 before you can make any detailed comment on it.
Yeah, well, the details that he'd mentioned or that have been outlined in the Qantas media statement, so 1,500 in management and non-operational roles, and as you said, Qantas is, as far as you're concerned, a bit top-heavy with management. Operational positions affected by fleet and network changes. What do you understand that to be?
Yeah, that's like the retirement of 747 aircraft would mean less people, whether it be engineers, pilots, flight attendants that service those aircraft. But remember, they're being replaced by other aircraft as well. So, but overall the strategy is wrong. They should be increasing their fleets like every other airline, and most of the other airlines are profitable, not decreasing.
The other area that's identified in this media release is the restructure of line maintenance operations.
Yeah, the restructure of line maintenance operations is the 175 licensed engineers I've talked about already. So again, we spoke with management yesterday, and we've scheduled a meeting in for early next week. So we'll get further details on that there, but that probably relates to the retirement of some of the aircraft as well. Yeah,
and it also includes, this 5,000 does include the closure of the Avalon maintenance base as previously announced. How many people did that involve?
Yeah, so the 5,000 included 1,000 job losses that have already been announced, which was 300 people who are going to lose their positions when the Avalon maintenance base closes on the 28th of March. OK,
I will have to leave it there, Steve Purvinas. Thanks very much for that, because the Opposition Leader, Bill Shorten, stepping up.
Today is truly devastating news for 5,000 hard-working, professional, skilled Qantas staff and their families. It's also a very sad day for Australia. There are few things more synonymous with calling Australia home than Qantas Airways. This is the worst day for aviation people since the collapse of Ansett.